Hello everyone, welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all doing good and well. So time for a Sunday album review, and this time I'm talking about an album that's been making waves in the metal community over this weekend. This is the second album from the death metal band Crypta, and they released Shades of Sorrow, which came out on the 4th of August via Napalm Records, and the album is 13 tracks and about 51 minutes in length. So this is the follow-on album to Echoes of the Soul, which came out a couple of years ago. I vaguely remember that album. I don't remember spending a huge amount of time with it. But listening to this sophomore effort, it feels like the band have built on what they did in that album, and they've produced something here which is a very accomplished death metal album. The band has a lot going for them here. I think that the new combination of the guitarist Jessica Tafauci and Taina Bergamashi really comes to the fore and do some great dual lead guitar work. The melodic tremolo work is excellent on this album throughout, but they also do go into thrashier parts that bring me back or remind me of a sort of South American thrash metal sound. You also have some absolutely kind of amazing gutturals from singer Fernanda Lira, who is doing screams and shrieks pretty much throughout the entire album. She never really takes a break. I feel like there's a lot of that on this album. You also have Luana D'Ameto playing some excellent drums and doing a lot of, great drum patterns and all sorts of things throughout the album, which is also really supporting that overall sound as well. And I think this is a band that, I know they've not been around too long, so it's a pretty impressive sophomore effort. Certainly, there is no sophomore slump here with this album. This is a really good death metal album I highly recommend. If you're a death metal fan, I can see you probably enjoying this one for sure. So let's go into the tracks of this album from Crypta then a bit more. We start off with, we start off with Dark Clouds. Well, the first kind of track, you get a bit of a piano introduction, I think, the track. Then you go into Dark Clouds, which batters you with an array of Luana D'Ameto's thunderous drum beats, that fast, melodic tremolo work I was talking about, and the guitars, a blend of death and thrash riffs coming into this track. It's a really good, start to this album. This is a track that really kicks it off and gets you going into the mood. Another really good song follows straight on, Poisonous Apathy. I really like the way this song drops to that kind of lower key, and you get that really kind of nasty, dirty, just really kind of thick guitar riff that sort of comes into it. I really like the way that happens in this track. I also particularly liked The Outsider. The more I've listened to the track, the more it's grown on me, and it's because Fernanda Lira, she really does some fantastic screaming in this Outsider track, I think, and that for me is the standout on that particular song on this album. But perhaps it's Stronghold, which, without wishing to sort of play on that word, is a bit of a stronghold for the album. I think it's a really great track. A standout song with solos towards the end that are pretty amazing solos from both guitarists once again. Really excellent track on the album. Then you got to a pre-release single, The Other Side of Anger, which actually for me wasn't one of the strongest on the album. Certainly not the single I would choose if I were going to listen to one of the singles from this album. I probably wouldn't choose The Other Side of Anger. It's the follow-on track, Trial of Traitors. It's an absolutely blistering track. Again, that tremolo work stands out, particularly at the end where they up the tempo and it kind of goes at, extra fast pace. It's like they double the speed. And it just goes into a fantastic finish to the track. And I also enjoy when the track takes a little break and you're left with some clean leads, really eerie sounding, echoey, clean guitar work there. And I really liked the way the track did that, took a break, and then you went back into the kind of the main theme of it again. I did feel there were a couple of instrumental tracks on here, like the starting track maybe. I mean, the starting track I didn't mind actually, but a track called The Limbo, which I think came between, I think it came between two tracks on the album that I just didn't really feel was necessary. And I thought maybe they could have taken that out because the album had so much momentum at that point. It didn't really need it, I didn't think, for Limbo. So yeah, it left the album in limbo. I may as well just finish things there, right? After that terrible, terrible joke. Then you've got Agents of Chaos, really good song as well. And you've also got Lord of Ruins, which was another single on the album. Another really excellent single as well, which I think caps off the album in some style. And yeah, this album is probably one of the best in death metal I've heard this year, I'd say. At the moment, I'm torn between an 8 and a 9 out of 10. I think it has certainly the meat and bones of a 9 out of 10 there. For me, I feel a few tracks could have just been slightly shorter, tightened up, certainly gotten rid of a couple of the instrumental ones, which I don't think really were needed on an album which has the menacing aggression and momentum that this album carries through for most of it. In fact, just trimmed, just a few of those parts of some of the tracks, not many of the tracks, to be honest. You would have had a really tight and just full of energy, ripping death metal album from the start to the finish. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Great album, really good one from death metal for 2023. So highly recommend you check it out. Otherwise, from me, until next time, hope you have great ends to your weekends. Until next time, bye for now.